It was a typical Tuesday morning when I arrived at work. The diner wasn't anything fancy, but it had a warm vibe. The aroma of fresh coffee always lingered, and people came and went with a comforting regularity. To me, it felt like a second home. I knew most of the regulars by name and could often guess their orders before they even sat down. That day began like any other. I tied my apron, checked my tables, and prepared for the usual rush. By mid-morning, the diner was bustling. Conversations filled the air, coffee cups clinked, and the kitchen hummed with the sound of sizzling pancakes and bacon. And then, he walked in. He was dressed in a sharp suit, carrying an air of someone who expected the world to bend to his will. Without acknowledging me, he headed straight for a corner table, sat down, and buried himself in his phone. Putting on my usual smile, I approached him and greeted, "Good morning, can I get you some coffee?" Without looking up, he waved dismissively and muttered, "Just water, and make it quick." My smile faltered, but I composed myself. It wasn't the first time I had dealt with someone like him, and it wouldn't be the last. I brought him water and took his order: eggs, toast, and bacon. Nothing out of the ordinary, except for his sharp tone when he told me to hurry up. I'm on a tight schedule. As the minutes ticked by, his irritation only grew. He tapped his fingers on the table, sighed loudly, and checked his watch several times. When I brought his food, he scowled and snapped, "Is this your idea of service? The toast is cold, and the eggs are overdone." I apologized and offered to fix it, but he waved me off and barked, "Just bring me the bill." By then, I was holding back tears. I had worked hard all morning, and his behavior felt like a slap in the face. But I reminded myself that everyone has bad days. Maybe he was dealing with something I couldn't see. At least that's what I told myself to get through the moment. I placed the bill on his table and walked away, hoping he would leave soon. An hour later, I saw him again, but this time he wasn't sitting at a table. He was near the manager's office, talking to my boss, Mr. Lewis. My heart sank. Had he complained about me? Was I about to lose my job over an unpleasant customer? I tried to avoid looking at them, but a few minutes later, Mr. Lewis called me over. My hands were shaking as I approached. "Amanda," Mr. Lewis said, "this is Mr. Carter. He's the regional manager for the restaurant chain. He's here on a surprise visit." I froze. The rude customer? A regional manager? Before I could process what was happening, Mr. Carter spoke. "I've been observing the staff," he said, his tone now calm and professional. "And I must say, Amanda, you impressed me. Despite how difficult I made things for you, you remained composed and professional. That's not easy to do." I was speechless. His words echoed in my mind. He had been testing me? The frustration and hurt I'd felt earlier now turned into relief and disbelief. "Thank you," I managed to say, my voice trembling. Mr. Carter nodded. "Your attitude and dedication set a great example for this establishment. Keep up the good work." With that, he walked away, leaving me standing there with my heart pounding. As he left, Mr. Lewis smiled at me and said, "You handled him better than I ever could. I'm proud of you." That day taught me something important. Sometimes people test your patience in ways you can't anticipate, but when you choose kindness, even when it's hard, it makes all the difference. I won't say I didn't feel like snapping back at him at the time, but looking back, I'm glad I didn't. Because that day, I wasn't just a waitress. I was a professional, and I proved to myself that no matter how someone treats me, I have the strength to rise above it. After that day, I noticed a change in myself. Mr. Carter's words boosted my confidence. I realized that facing life's challenges isn't just about external circumstances, but also about how we respond to them. I used to think people were either good or bad, but that day taught me that people's behavior often reflects their struggles. Over the next few weeks, my attitude shifted. Both my co-workers and customers seemed to notice and appreciate it. I understood that by staying positive, I wasn't just improving my own experience, but also inspiring those around me. I stopped worrying about how people would talk to me or whether someone might disrespect me. I learned that someone else's rudeness was their issue, not mine. I began to enjoy my work more than ever. One day, while serving a large family, their little boy looked up at me and said, "You're so nice. Your smile makes me think you're always happy." His words warmed my heart and reminded me that the kindness we give to others often comes back to us in unexpected ways. A few months later, Mr. Lewis called me into his office. He had always appreciated my hard work, but this time his expression was different. "Amanda," He said, "We're all impressed with your performance. We've decided to make you the supervisor of this restaurant. You have the leadership qualities and the positivity to inspire the team." I stared at him in disbelief. This was a dream come true. From dealing with rudeness on my first day to this moment, I felt overwhelmed by how far I'd come. I accepted the role with gratitude and embraced my new responsibilities with dedication. I wasn't just a waitress anymore. I was a leader. Every day, I tried to pass on the lessons I'd learned to my coworkers. Even now, whenever a customer speaks rudely to me, I remember that day. I know that a smile or a calm response can turn someone's bad day around, and I'm proud that I chose to remain patient and professional. Because on that day, I didn't just learn how to serve a customer, I learned how to hold on to my dignity and positivity, no matter the circumstances. Thank you for watching till the end. I hope you enjoyed the story. If you did, don't hesitate to like the video and share it with your friends too. Subscribe to our channel and turn on the notification bell for more fascinating stories. Have a nice day.